The Death Company are a specialised unit unique to the Blood Angels chapter of Space Marines and all of their successor chapters. Its members are consumed by a permanent, debilitating psychosis known as the Black Rage, a condition that any Astartes bearing the Blood Angels gene seed is at risk of developing. This affliction drives its victims to believe they are reliving the death of their Primarch Sanguinius in his final battle against the arch-traitor Horus during the Horus Heresy. Armoured in black and marked by symbolic representations of Sanguinius's wounds, the Death Company serve as a grim foreshadowing of the Blood Angels chapter's potential final fate. Their armour is adorned with red crosses and skulls, and their visages are often hidden behind death masks, further emphasising their morbid connection to their Primarch's martyrdom. The members of the Death Company are no longer considered to be living brothers, but are instead viewed as the walking dead, already marked for death. On the battlefield, each warrior of the Death Company is a terrifying force to behold, driven by an unquenchable righteous fury and holy strength. They charge into combat with a ferocity unmatched, their minds consumed by visions of ancient battles, and their bodies pushed to superhuman limits by the Black Rage. Their strength and fervour can turn the tide of battle, making them invaluable assets in the Blood Angels campaigns. However, this incredible combat prowess comes at a terrible cost. Once the fury of battle subsides, these warriors are left in a state of irredeemable madness. The Black Rage destroys their minds, leaving them beyond hope of recovery. After serving their chapter with unmatched valour, these tormented souls face inevitable execution, a mercy granted by their brethren to end their suffering and prevent the spread of their curse. The Death Company then stands as a testament to the tragic legacy of the Blood Angels. They embody the eternal struggle between the nobility and the curse within their bloodline, fighting not only for victory on the battlefield, but also against the inexorable doom that awaits them. During the height of the galaxy-spanning rebellion known as the Horus Heresy, the epic climactic battle occurred during the Siege of Terra in the early 31st millennium. This monumental conflict pitted the forces of chaos, led by the Warmaster Horus, against the loyalist armies of the Imperium of Man, commanded by the Emperor of Mankind himself. Many Space Marine legions claimed absolute loyalty and reverence for their Primarch fathers, but few were as fervent in their adoration as the Blood Angels. None experienced such a profound loss as they did. Even the Iron Hands, who had lost their Primarch Ferus Manus to the demon-claimed Fulgrim, knew nothing of the intense pain felt by the 9th Legion when Sanguinius faced the arch-traitor alone aboard his flagship, the Vengeful Spirit, and fell to the Warmaster's unholy mace. With the slaughter of their gene-sire by the very vessel of the ruinous powers, the Blood Angels legionaries suffered a psychic backlash that seared their very souls, burning an irreversible mark into their genetic coding. This psychic trauma left an indelible scar on the Blood Angels, affecting every Astartes who bore their gene seed. When the dust settled in the decades following the Siege of Terra, the mighty Space Marine legions were reorganised into 1,000 Astartes chapters, each granted autonomy from Imperial authority. Among the Blood Angels and their newly formed successor chapters, it became increasingly apparent that Sanguinius's death had left a lasting imprint that no chaplain could have predicted and no sanguinary priest could cure. In addition to contending with the Red Thirst, a bloodlust that beats in every heart of every son of Sanguinius, their new curse was a more solemn and spiritual malady. This condition goes by several names, including the Fate, the Primarch's Curse, and the Chaplain's Vigil. However, most Blood Angels know it by a darker, bleaker title, spoken in whispers on the eve of battle. They call it the Black Rage. Alone among the Space Marine chapters, the Blood Angels and their successors possess an intrinsic genetic awareness of their Primarch's last moments in the skies above Holy Terra. The ferocity and psychic virulence of Sanguinius' murder were so profound that even the emotional echoes of that dark deed still course through the blood of his genetic descendants, even 10,000 years later. Time has not been merciful to the sons of the Angel. The Black Rage bites deeper with every generation, claiming more warriors' minds with every passing century. Many of the warrior philosophers born of Sanguinius' bloodline consider the Red Thirst and the Black Rage as two sides of the same coin. One afflicts the mind, while the other blights the soul. Resisting the pull of the Red Thirst confers a strength in its own right. By rising above their baser urges and eternal bloodlust, the Blood Angels are perpetually focused on fortifying their souls against the temptations of chaos. The struggle to control the Red Thirst hones their discipline and dedication, making them formidable both in spirit and in battle. The Black Rage, however, offers no such hope. A Blood Angel in the grip of the Primarch's curse is damned in the most literal sense. There is no redemption, no recovery, only the promise of death in battle. These cursed warriors don the colours of sacred mourning, their armour black and marked with the blood-red iconography of their fallen Primarch. They fight in a maddened frenzy, their minds lost to visions of Sanguinius' final moments, driven by a holy fury that cannot be quelled. Under the watchful gaze of a skull-faced chaplain, these warriors of the Death Company charge into the fray, knowing that death is the only release from their torment. Their sacrifice is both a testament to their enduring loyalty and a grim reminder of the tragic legacy that haunts the Blood Angels and their successors. The Lamenters chapter once believed they had conquered the curse through the diligence and tech genius of their apothecaries, only for stories to circulate at the close of the 41st millennium that the Black Rage had returned tenfold after their flawed attempts to cleanse it from their gene seed. Their efforts not only failed, but exacerbated the curse, proving there is no escape from the Primarch's curse. The Templars of Blood do not organise those who succumb to the Black Rage into a formal death company. Those Astartes of this chapter that lose the struggle with their common flaw are left to die alone in combat. Once a chaplain notices the telltale look in a battle brother's eyes that indicates the imminent loss of control, he performs a benediction in the name of Sanguinius and the Emperor of Mankind before stripping the Astartes of all war gear except for his combat knife and power armour. Should the Space Marine suffering from the flaw survive the following combat, his company's captain is required by chapter tradition to honour the battle brother for his exemplary service to the Emperor before executing him outright. However, the number of Astartes within the Templars of Blood who actually fall to the Black Rage is unusually low for a Blood Angel's successor chapter, a fact that has not escaped the notice of the Inquisition or the Blood Angels themselves. No one knows exactly how the Templars of Blood have managed to keep the flaw at bay. Those who think well of the chapter, including the Blood Angels, believe it is due to their devotion to the Emperor and Sanguinius, as well as an iron will that is remarkable even among Astartes. However, the Templars of Blood's growing numbers of detractors prefer to believe that the chapter's seeming immunity has its origin in a far darker secret. In 10,000 years, only a single soul has returned from the Black Rage. The Blood Angel's librarian Calistarius, now called Mephiston, named the Lord of Death for conquering the limits of mortality. After falling to the floor and being clad in Death Company black, Astartes fought in the defense of Hades' hive during the Second War for Armageddon. Some archives state that he was buried alive for 7 days and 7 nights beneath a collapsed ecclesiarchy building, while others conflict with that account, citing the severity of his wounds as evidence that he died beneath the rubble and was restored by some miracle of transmogrified gene seed. Mephiston's return remains one of the greatest mysteries and miracles within the Blood Angels chapter. His survival and transformation offer a glimmer of hope, yet also serve as a stark reminder of the deadly and unpredictable nature of the Primarch's curse. Whatever the truth, Astartes arose stronger, both physically and psychically, somehow having banished the Black Rage from his blood. If the former tale is true, then it might be possible for warriors of supreme will and psychic strength to fight through the floor. If the latter is true, then a darker precedent has been set. To overcome the Black Rage, a Blood Angel must die within its grip and pray for a resurrection that may have been nothing more than a mythic misunderstanding. The Black Rage begins with visions and dreams of bloodshed and battle that stir the warrior's senses and linger within his mind beyond the hours of slumber. Soon these visions press on the Space Marine's mind during his hours of meditation, training and battle, painting the palette of his mind with memories of wars he never fought and the faces of brothers who died thousands of years before he was born. Rigorous focus and mental training can suppress the onset of these waking nightmares, but the process can never be entirely halted. Once the Black Rage begins to take hold, degeneration is inevitable. It can take minutes, hours, days, or in some rare cases, even decades, but the path always leads to the same fate. The Black Rage boils through the sufferer's mind, infusing his senses with the mythic torments of Sanguinius' shattered past. His eyes and heart deceive him, but it is a glorious lie. Every enemy, be they alien, mutant, or heretic, all blend into a vision of the traitors that set fire to Holy Terra. The brothers at his side are seen as the heroes and fallen champions of that ancient age. Soon enough, the afflicted Blood Angel is lost to all reason, needing to be restrained in his frothing blood madness, living only to kill the enemies of the Emperor. No longer can he train and serve with his former squad. He is surrendered into the care of the Reclusium, bound to take to the battlefield in ritually blackened armour. From that day forward, he fights as one of the Death Company. Death in battle inevitably follows. With no ability to follow tactics or heed the intricacies of a commander's battle plan, the warriors of the Death Company charge in a howling tide, bound, even if only temporarily, by the inspiring chants of their chaplains. As in so many matters of the Adeptus Astartes spirituality, it is the chaplains who play a key role. The chaplains serve as the spiritual backbone of the Blood Angels, guiding their brothers through the darkness of the Black Rage with their powerful oratory and unyielding faith. Their presence on the battlefield is a beacon of hope and fury, driving the Death Company forward with a fervour that borders on the divine. They remind their brothers of their duty to Sanguinius and the Emperor, ensuring that even in their madness, they fight with purpose and honour. Thus, the cycle of the Black Rage continues, an eternal struggle against a curse that can never be fully vanquished, but must always be confronted with courage and resolve.